Hey everyone, Tamar Salas here, coming to you today just from home. I want to talk to you today about drug addiction and the ability to transform your life at any time that you feel like. How do we do this? We do this with the power of words, the power of our intellect, and the power of our spirit. You have to understand that you're a spiritual being inside a body. The body that we live inside of gets used to things. If you don't train it, it gets used to it's being lethargic. The mind, the intellect, if you don't train it, it doesn't help you. It doesn't grow. It doesn't help you to develop your desires. And it can only do the basic operations of what the body wants, which is eat, sleep, procreate, have very little movement. So depending on your level of activity as a human being, depending on your levels of activity as a person, what your personal best is, or just depending on, what your habits are, the body will request more from you or less from you than a normal human being. Normal human being, has enough energy in the day to do all that is required to create a well-balanced life, right? On the other side, let's just imagine that this being is right in the middle of a scale. On the other side of the scale, there's a human being who has very little desire and who is quite happy with not much, very little activity, little food, little water, little everything. And on the other side, on the extreme, is a human being who is, hungry constantly and who wants to have it all, and, who goes out of his way or her way to satisfy that hunger, that desire. A drug addict is right in the middle of those two. Usually very hungry, incredibly hungry. Not just a drug addict, I'm using drugs because it is where I've come from in the past, and it is why I sit here in front of you recording this video today, to share with you a little of what has helped me, or what helped me in the past to completely transform my life from using drugs from the age of 15 to 25 or 26. So I remember what helped me. Well, I realized that I was being an incredibly selfish individual, not to consciously think about the people that cared for me, about the people that actually wanted me to do well and wanted good for me. And that was the main wake-up call. But going back to that was what propelled me to change my life. So going back to the three examples of an individual's, desire or hunger: very little, right in the middle, and the extreme is, the hungry for everything, And so your body will require you, excess level of activities, less levels of activity, or right in the middle. Someone who's happy with just in the middle. And why does a person who suffers from an addiction, fit right in the middle? Because all you want to do is just satisfy, all it wants to do, an addiction wants to do, is satisfy the one need. The one need consistently, several times, on a consistent basis, yes? So whether it is porn you're addicted to, you will seek that to fulfill that need, but is it a need or is it a void? Where does this desire actually really come from? When we understand where it comes from, then we can change it. What traditional methods of psychology and psychiatry do not do is they don't guide you towards transforming your life. And anyone on this earth can transform their lives once they know the root cause of a problem. And we begin to shift our thinking. Because what is the purpose of finding out the root cause of something and not changing it? The mind is, you can teach it things, right? It's flexible. You know, it's not a hard piece of stone. You can program it. You can deprogram. You can get rid of, you can delete programs, previous programs that we operate on. You can delete those and install new programs in. And this is easily done. But traditional methods of psychology and psychiatrists and psychoanalysis don't take that route. They just stay in the realm of psychoanalysis, in the analysis realm, right? For the purpose of research, for the purpose of study. I myself am an expert in helping you to go beyond the analysis and helping you to transform your life, deleting, taking away what you no longer need. So if your current need is to satisfy a void, right? If your desire is to constantly satisfy a void, such as, for example, when you go out and to smoke, you want that freedom to do whatever it is that you want. You want that minute for yourself, right? You want it. You have to have it almost every hour. Well, not twice, 3 times an hour, some people. You want that moment for yourself. Why do you want it? You can't just say it is just the nicotine. We can't just say it is the substance that is so addictive. The body will respond in that way, yes, but then there is the spirit and there is your intellect. The intellect is primarily just responding to a habit, not actually thinking about any longer about consciously about going for a cigarette. It is just a repetitive program that occurs, right, without any thought, without any conscious thought. So the intellect is not actively engaged in the action, right? When you play in a game, for example, you're actively engaged. You are discovering, you know, your skills, your limits, your boundaries, how to play the game. That is an active, conscious way of operating, right? Smoking, or a habit, a long ingrained habit, is a program that you're following. So when we look at habits in this way, it becomes easier to being able to make a choice and make a decision, say, wow, if it is just a habit, I can change it if I want to. I can create a new habit that will overlap this old habit, right? So there are ways of clearing out your addiction mindfully, utilizing your intellect, utilizing your spirit, and obviously teaching the body new habits, new ways of moving and operating. Yeah. So all of this can be, of course, talked about in a one-on-one session that we can have. In depth, obviously, everybody's case is different. Everybody's case is, excuse me, my hair. Everybody's case has different significant emotional events attached to their addiction. And so, I'd love to be able to put in a course together for everyone to do and to clear their addictions. But unfortunately, because it is such an individual enigma, it is such an individual issue, problem, it needs to be a one-on-one. So I invite you to take the opportunity today, after watching this video, to reach out to me, to DM me if you have any questions or insights from this video that you'd like to discuss further. We can see whether we're a good fit for each other. If we are, then what will happen is I will send you a form, a Google form for you to fill in, and then we'll take it from there. Google form will give me a clearer, better idea about your health concerns and your health state and condition as of now, and that'll help us to kick off our programs and our sessions together for me to help you further understand yourself and further develop your truest potential. Thank you so much for listening to me, guys, today. I'm off to do some training, and I'll see you soon on my next video.